Welcome back here at the International Wealth Builders Radio Talk Show. I'm your host, Marie Antoinette Wade, and we have Michael Polin, who is an international real estate lawyer, and he's got this new program that he's launching. And I wanted to ask Michael in regards to the specifics of that program. Is that something that you can share right now?
Yeah, like I said earlier, we're launching this program at the end of the month, but I own it all. I own all the content, I own all the copyrights. So I can talk about it. Ask
Okay.
away.
Yeah. So, what would be the first? I mean, you said how many hours is the session? Is it like 10 hours? You said? Did you say
Yeah,
10?
it's broken into modules, Marie. And so the
Okay.
modules are kind of like learning lesson, areas. I've got around right now probably 10 hours, maybe more. So I'll break that into maybe 6 or 7 modules, but each one of those is an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, each one of
Okay.
them. So it's pretty depthy.
So, are there specific sections that you can let them know what are the things that they're learning from that 10 hours?
Well, the first thing you kind of have to understand is why. Why are you investing in international real estate? How are you doing it? Those are big topics. Why and how? Because people think of their portfolio as stocks and bonds and gold and silver and Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. That's what people think. They don't know there's this whole other investment vehicle out there until I teach them. They don't know. If you go on the internet and your audience was to go look up international real estate, you'll find zero education products. None. And that's because you need my kind of experience to be able to go do it, and you got to be able to create the program. So we teach you the hows and the whys of the international real estate. Then you need to understand some major topics like due diligence. So what does due diligence mean? Well, you got to do it, first of all. You have to understand it. So, for example, once you figure out you're interested in the country, you've decided you're interested in police. Now, what's the process in Belize of sourcing a property? You're an agent, a lawyer, a notary. How do you hire those people? What do you pay them? And then once you find a property, how do you negotiate the deal? Once you negotiate the deal, how do you close the deal? What are the rules and regulations for that country on exchanging land title, exchanging deeds? It's all a process, okay? And every country is different, but I do go over into detail a bunch of different countries, okay, on how you do that. Let me give you a really quick example, because this is things that in other countries will freak you out, because it's outside of your norm, how you think about things as an American. But you got to get used to it. You need someone like me to teach you. Easy example. When you buy a piece of property in Belize or Panama, it's not like, for example, you open up an escrow. There's no escrows. It doesn't exist. So if you're saying to me, okay, Mike, who's going to handle the escrow for us in Belize? No one. Why not? Because there's no escrow. It's run by the lawyer that represents the seller. That's your escrow. Well, that can make you feel insecure. Okay, and I can tell you, I did, not insecure, but I had to really learn the law, really learn the regulations as to why that is. Because then what happens is you put your money into an escrow, but really you're giving it to the lawyer for the seller. So you're insecure about that. But I'll make you secure, because I'll explain to you what I do to protect you, to make sure nobody ever absconds with your money. And there's a way to do it, and I do it. And I've never had a problem with that. Then when you actually close the escrow, Marie, you close it. So in America, if you close an escrow, what do? Here's your money. Give me the grant deed. Give me the title. That's our business, not in Belize. Takes 6 to 9 months for the Belizean government to send you the title.
Wow.
You've already paid them. You don't have, your money's gone, and you're freaking out because you're like, I don't have my title. How do I know it's my property? There's a secret to that. There's a way to do it, but you got to know the Belizean laws to do it. Right? These are real world examples. Okay. And so I teach you things like that, how to do it. But due diligence is super important. We go over all that. What regions of the world interest you? Asia, Europe, Central America. We go over all that. Okay. So then you have to ask yourself, how much money do I have to invest? How much return do I want to try and get? Do I have a cash flow concern, or I don't care about cash flow? Do I want to use the property? Not use the property. Who's going to find a tenant for me? Who's going to manage the property for me? How do I pay my electricity bill? The normal stuff we do every day here, you cannot make any assumptions for anything in the rest of the world because it's going to be very different. I teach that.
Wow.
And then I build up your confidence in your decision because ultimately it's your money. So it's your decision. But I help you really walk through these things. Okay, I give pretty good stories, just like I did just now with you, just like I did the other night. You know, I'll tell you what happened, and then I'll tell you how we fixed the problem. Or it wasn't a problem. And everybody thought it was a problem, but I didn't. So I resolved it. So those kinds of things, you know, you really have to learn. And it takes a lot of time to explain it. I'm only talking to you for like 12, 24 minutes today. On those tapes, I'm talking for hours.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine that, to do something like that, you have to have somebody like you with solid experience
Yeah.
and really, the knowledge to protect yourself. I mean, seriously, I don't know who else can do that.
No one. I don't know. I don't know anybody. I mean,
That's what I'm
that's what I,
saying.
yeah, I'll tell you a funny, quick story. About a year ago, a buddy of mine who runs a big marketing company, he called me up and he said, Mike, he goes, you've got like 300 topics under your Teach Me Academy site, right? Because I have a company called the teachmeacademy.com, which is all these other courses, like 130 courses there. He goes, you've got like all those courses. He goes, why don't you just do a course in international real estate? And I was looking at him, I said, that's a pretty good idea. I don't know why I haven't done that. And
Yeah.
that promoted me to go do it.
And
And
then
that's
guess
how
what,
I did
Michael?
it.
I came up with the International Wealth Builders. How about
You did.
that?
You did. Exactly. That's the Filipino brilliance in you.
I think it's such a perfect combination. I love the
Totally.
fact that you are doing the international real estate. People have always asked that because I have people came to me and said, "Oh, I have somebody that I'm working with in Vietnam, but I'm so worried and I don't really know what to do." I mean, I literally there is one lady in New York who said that they're giving her this much money, but she's afraid of making these deals with them because they don't know what would be the consequences for doing that.
Yeah.
So you are the person, I mean, Michael, that needs to be consulted because I don't know who else can do it.
The one thing, Maria, I'll tell you, you kind of alluded to this a little bit, is that I think the most successful people in the world are ones that fail. Right? You
Okay.
failed and you picked yourself back up and you learned. Dealing with China for 30 years, I saw a lot of failures. And some of those were client-based, some of those were them. It's like, didn't matter. My mindset is I'm always looking to avoid a failure. I'm always thinking like that. It's like getting back to my story on jurors. I'm always thinking about that one crazy juror over there, what they're thinking, which makes no sense. I got to figure that out so I can deal with that person later, right? And make them feel
Yeah.
comfortable voting for me. Well, I got to make you feel comfortable that, if you fail at something, you can pick yourself up and fix it. Real estate's different though, because in real estate, international real estate, it's not like you're going to lose money in the stock market.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we've all done that. I mean, it goes up and down and Bitcoin's all over the place. Real estate's finite. It's only so much of it. The prices stay relatively the same around the, different countries. Even in America, we have crashes here and there, but other countries don't have the crashes like we have, okay, because they don't have a zillion homes for sale, right?
Yeah.
So I think you get comfortable when you go there, when you go to different countries, you get comfortable driving around, walking around, talking to people, looking and saying, wow, this place is pretty modern, or this is, or not. Or not. Look at those islands in the Philippines. It's like, there's no way. It's like, I couldn't buy something there because I would never feel secure about it. If I don't feel secure, I'll tell you that.
So
If you,
is someone who is, typically, an investor that is not really an accredited investor yet, do
Mhm.
they have a chance to do something like this with your guidance?
Why do you need to be accredited to go buy a piece of real estate?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just asking the question.
No, because when you say that, you're only talking about investing in a company. When
Oh,
you
I
ask that
see.
when you ask that question, you're not investing in the company. You're investing in yourself.
Okay.
So if you said to me, I have $250,000 of, disposable income, and I'd like to buy a piece of real estate that could earn me 4% a year. Do you have any suggestions? Yeah, I got a whole bunch of suggestions for you, but it's your money. You're investing in you. You just asked me for a direction to go. You're not
Okay.
investing in me. I'm not taking any money except what you pay me for my course, and whatever you pay me to consult with you, but it's your money. So no,
Yeah.
you don't need to be accredited.
Now, is this course going to be very expensive for people to sign up?
No, it's going to be probably $15,000. That'll be the total. And
Okay.
then I'll have, it's a mastermind level course. I
Okay.
mean, and you've got my 35 years of experience.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah, I
so
know.
it's relatively cheap. I had, which speaking of investors, I did have an investor come to me and wanted to buy the company, and I said, buy the company. I haven't done anything yet. I haven't even launched yet. He goes, yeah. I was very much impressed. I said, wow, that's quite a compliment. He goes, Mike, you're sitting on a gigantic need that's unfulfilled. I said, yeah, I do believe that. There's a huge need out there. People do not know what to do with their money. They don't know. They're worried about banks collapsing, Marie. Last week there was 2 more. Banks collapsing, money vanishing out of your account, inflation, cost of healthcare. It's all a problem for people. I'm going to show you another way to spend your money, reduce inflation, get good or better healthcare, have good cash flow in your portfolio. So
Okay.
you'll want to do this stuff when you understand, how to do it.
Okay. We're going to go ahead and take another commercial break. And Michael, in our last segment, I want to really, hound the message for the listeners when it comes to international real estate. So for you out there, don't go away. This is going to be an amazing segment for you to listen to.